So the question that I want to ask today is, do you remember the moment in your life where your food issues started? Where food started becoming more than nourishment? And I think a lot of people would probably say no, like I can't remember that at all. But for some reason, when I reflect on that question for myself, I immediately can remember the moment that happened for me. And it's weird because I was only 3 years old, and our memories as 3-year-olds are, hazy at best in most circumstances. And so you're probably wondering, thinking I'm out of my mind, but I do remember. I know that there's certain pieces of a childhood that we can look back on and remember, not necessarily vividly, but we remember what happened. And I was 3 years old, and my mother was having a medical emergency. It was the early 80s. She was pregnant with my sister. She's diabetic. Her pregnancy was high risk because of her diabetes. I remember that my grandparents came over to help my dad with the issue, and there was a little me, and I don't remember who did it. I don't know if it was a grandparent or my dad sitting me in front of the TV with a snack and just being, "Here, sweetie, just sit here and enjoy your snack. Mom, we'll be back. We'll be back." And I don't want this to come off as me blaming those adults in my life, because absolutely I'm not. I had very loving adults in my life as a child. They cared about me very much. And they did the best they could, as we all do as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever. But that was the moment, because it was a scary moment. I remember it being scary, but then I remember feeling better being in front of this TV show that I loved and eating this snack that I loved. Now, do I remember what the snack was? Honestly, I have no idea, but I just remember feeling comfort in that moment. And ever since then, going into the remainder of my childhood into adulthood, food was a comfort. Food was something to celebrate with, something that I could go to when I was sad, something I could, it was basically something that was there for every big emotion. And it shouldn't be that way. We all know that shouldn't be that way. And so I guess I'm just curious if I'm the only one. Do you remember the moment where your food issues started? Because I know that as a 3-year-old, I was a normal size, but going into 4 and 5 years old, I started to balloon up. I got a little butterball turkey-like. And from then on out, I struggled with my weight. So I really feel like that was the turning point for me. So what does all this mean? I don't know. I think that, with us being self-aware enough to know the weight that food carries, figuratively, not literally in our bodies, but just the weight that it carries with us emotionally, how can we, rechannel our emotions and find ways to make ourselves feel better without the food being the main source of happiness, comfort, whatever. And I found ways. It's not perfect. Obviously, I'm still fighting. I'm still working. I'm still trying to get this weight off. I'm still trying to get to a point where I'm healthy. But I think that I found some ways. If I'm anxious, if I'm sad, if I'm depressed, if I'm angry, if I've had a bad day, I read books. I read books that I enjoy. I look forward to that. That is my treat. That is my me time. And it gives me an escape. Honestly, for me personally, a book, there's no better escape than a book from reality when reality is just a little tough. When I'm happy, I do something active. I find something fun to do with my kids or my family, and I try to do something active, or I'll journal, or I'll try to find ways to make myself happy. And this little guy, He makes me happy. But it's a work in progress. But I guess my question is, do you know when it started for you, and how are you combating that? What things are you doing to help yourself find healthier ways to handle strong emotion? So have a good day. That's the big question.